Boom, boom. All right, and I'm gonna start recording now.
So we're good?
We're back, yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome back to the Away Fans. We took, I guess it was less than a week still.
When was the last one?
Well, I guess it would have been a week. Because we didn't do a Thursday wrap-up show because there were no games.
Yeah, okay,
So we did
it's
Monday to Monday.
Yeah.
So we had one episode off, but we're back now. Yeah, basically going to talk about the international break. We had some Manchester United news, and then we had some Newcastle news. Well, Newcastle and Italy.
Italy in general. Which
Yeah,
there's just we'll go into it, but there's just Italy has so much scandal all the time.
they do. Yeah.
Like historically, 50 years they just constantly have it. I don't know what's going on there.
Unfortunate. For sure. So yeah, first things first, the U.S. men's national team played against Germany in Hartford, Connecticut, which I would have loved to gone to if tickets weren't like over $200 to see a friendly, which is like, I don't know, it's just crazy. And all of them were resale tickets too. Like, it's not like you were buying them directly from the stadium or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the huge problem with American like sports in general is just the resale is ridiculous.
Oh, you almost never buy from the direct source.
It's hard to.
Yeah, for people like that are listening overseas and stuff, like we don't go to, like, for the example, the New England Revolution or whatever. I've gone to a bunch of their games. You don't go to like newenglandrevolution.com and buy tickets. You go to Ticketmaster or StubHub or whatever, like a reseller, which are all just people that bought tickets and are flipping them.
Yeah, it's not even people, it's just bots that are doing it for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
I know they have some issues with it in the UK, and now a lot of the teams are putting in like raffle systems and stuff. The US doesn't really give a shit about that because we're all about making the most money possible.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's eating. The whole
right. The team doesn't care if the fans aren't there because they sold out all the tickets.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't bother them.
No.
It just bothers the public, which is no one cares.
So yeah, $200+ to see the U.S. get beat 3-1 by Germany in a friendly in Hartford too. Like, not like, I don't know. It's a fine area and everything, but like $200 is kind of crazy.
Connecticut is a big soccer hub, to be fair, for the U.S., and there's a lot of money there. So
yeah,
a lot of money there. It's at the Yukon field.
Yep.
A bunch of Hunter's friends went and saw the game, I think. Maybe not friends, but people he knows.
Yeah. Started off well. Pulisic scored a great goal.
Great goal.
Sure, we've all seen that. And then it just kind of went wrong. Sane scored. Well, Sane assisted a goal to Gundogan, but Sane just kind of danced through our defense. And then the other two goals, I can't remember who scored them. I know their new striker scored one, and then he might have had two. But it just defensively we're all over the place. You definitely see that we're missing Tyler Adams.
Big time
right now, just for his presence, like tracking back. Like there was one shot that Toni Kroos hit off the post, and he just walked in from midfield for a wide open look from the top of the box. Yeah, little stuff like that you realize, and it's just like defensive positioning. Like we were in the game offensively for most of the first half, but
we don't. I think there was a time. Well, I think as Pulisic broke onto the scene, I feel like our defense was almost the strongest part about that team because everyone was so young. But now that everyone's matured, it's like you're seeing that we're behind there. We have people that can. We don't have a. It's not like a steep drop off. Like for Canada, for example, I think they have a pretty steep drop off when you start going further back. But
Musiala scored the last one.
Yes. Which is just like the three names you said there, four names. It's just I get so excited about the U.S. men's national team, how good we are. Then you hear those four players, and you're like, any one of those guys would be our just easily the best player, like levels above anyone we have.
Yeah.
Even though I think we're great, and I think we're gonna be good, but it's wild.
Yep.
Still,
It also wasn't Tony Gross. It was Gross. Sorry, I was listening to the game. Pascal Gross.
Holy
But
shit! I forgot he's German.
yeah, I did too. But yeah, he pinged one off the post. But anyways, yeah. I guess the not bigger news, but part of the news, Gio Reyna started the game. Good to see.
Let's
Hopefully
go.
him and Greg figure out their little, slap
Yeah,
fight or whatever is going on.
which is that's such a crazy like thing. If you really unpack what happened there, it is just wild.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. In my head, I've sold myself on the idea that Gio didn't want to be part of it, but his dad just kept going,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm gonna hang on to.
yeah, I'll hang on to that too. I agree, but it is the most high school soccer
Oh, 100%.
like situation in the world. Like you could see that happening in a town of 300 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is such a small time thing.
Yep.
It's just so funny.
So Reyna started. That was big. And then, but yeah, you look at our like defensively. So Chris Richards started at center back with Tim Ream, and Tim Ream's obviously our veteran. Veteran guy. Chris
Who I
Richards is
love.
really young.
I love Tim. Ream.
Yeah, and I think Chris Richards can be decent too.
Yeah,
But I think they're
yeah.
just young. And I think the problem is you need two really, really solid guys and one with pace if you're going to have Dest on the outside. Because I think
Yeah.
Dest is, I think Berhalter, who's probably a couple years behind the curve of every other team right now where they're playing the inverted left back or right back.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately going to be Dest because Dest is so good on the ball.
Oh, he would be.
Where he's going to be attacking.
He'd be great at filling up. Well,
he's just not going to get back. That's the issue. Like you can't have Tim Ream, who's a good defender, but he's not quick.
But
by any means.
You think about the way an inverted fullback plays. I mean, I think you could argue that they actually don't get forward as much as a true overlapping fullback would. You know what I mean? Because they tend to like take that CDM role, cut inside, and just be a playmaker. So
I think the issue is turnovers in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Like if you get a quick transition turnover, he's not going to be there.
And I think, like you said, Adams immensely helps cover for that position. I mean, teams. I mean, like Liverpool, they do it with Trent. I mean, he's just defensive liability. But if you work around how to cover that, you'll be all right. But we're not Liverpool, so
yeah. And I guess the other thing is like when Adams comes back, who does he displace? Because in my mind, like I don't know, from what I've seen of people, McKenna, I'm never that impressed with him, but he always finds a way to make an impact, which makes me think he's the one to get bumped because he can come on in the 60th minute and just change the game, and he's more physical too. But I think you go Adams, Musa, and Reyna, and that'd be my midfield personally.
Yeah, that's a small midfield, man.
Yeah, but McKennie's not tall. He's just aggressive.
He's just a body.
But he can get body just as easy as the rest of them.
Yeah. I would agree. I think McKennie's such a good, just not squad guy, but like I think when he's not there, you do notice it. Mm-hmm. Same with Adams. If he's not there, you do notice it. I think Musa's probably the best technically gifted midfielder we have.
Yep.
But I don't think you would miss him in the same way you'd miss Adams. Maybe not McKennie, but Adams for sure.
Well, and I think if Reyna gets firing too, I mean, if he gets a bunch of starts in a row, I think you're going to start to see him just unlock teams. We saw him when he was kind of currently what his peak was at the men's national team was when we were playing Mexico a couple years ago, and he was just dribbling through the team, and I'm like, this kid's like unreal. And that's what you need.
If he can learn to play, because I don't think he plays in like a dual 8.
No.
But if he could learn to play that, I think it would be incredible, and he can roam into that 10 position. But you have to have, in order to play that, I guess you could keep Musa and Adams, a flat 2. But actually, that probably is how that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much exactly how it happens. But
I think
Tim Weah,
Berhalter,
Balogun, Pulisic, I think has to be the front.
yeah, there's no one else.
Um, unless you bring in like Pepe in front, but I think you run with Balogun until at least he gets some like competitive matches.
I think and late game, I think Pepe would be the move. Get a
I
bigger
think you
body
bring
in
on
there
the
for
height.
crosses. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like our second like grouping coming in and up front is not bad at all. Like you bring in Pepe off the bench and Aronson,
Aronson, yeah.
and then you have Luca De La Torre who can come in midfield, who's been decent.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's getting better. Jedi Robinson also didn't play this game, who's probably our starting right back. So
left back.
Is he left back?
Yeah.
Hogan? Who's usually the right back then?
Dest.
Dest played left back this game.
Yeah, he does that when Robinson's not there.
Oh, okay. What a fake fan I am.
I know. Because he can play that inverted role, but
yeah. So that's the men's national team. I believe they play Ghana tomorrow.
Ghana's be a good test. If we beat Ghana comfortably, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, tomorrow at 8:30. They should just not touch Thomas Partey. Don't touch him.
I would like them to touch him heavily.
Touch him. What else is going on? So we'll touch on Man United. They had a quarter buyout, I guess.
Yeah, 25%. But that 25% comes with like total control of like all footballing aspects. And so when this like over the summer when this was happening, I think everyone really wanted 100% buyout from Qatar because I mean let's ignore all the social connotations here. They wanted that 100% buyout because Qatar comes in, gets full control, gets rid of all the debt, rebuilds the stadium, builds new training, invests in the team. And I think people didn't like the Ineos and Radcliffe bid because they were afraid they weren't going to get that. And I was afraid of that too. I was like, well, we're just going to get another buyer based on debt and we're just going to get screwed. But from what I'm reading now, I think a lot of that was kind of like a little misinformation from Qatar. Yeah. From what I'm seeing, when they come in, they're taking complete football control. I think what I've seen, they're gonna rebuild the stadium. They want to make it into like a 90,000 person stadium, build new training facilities or upgrade training facilities, which like that's what I'm happy about. Like there's been so many players that have come here. Zlatan was one of them who said like United, for how big of a club, the facilities just weren't good enough.
Well, I think Ronaldo made a comment too. Like he was like, "It's the same as when I left it 15 years ago or something." Yeah, like that.
You know, to provide an excuse at that time, that was the cutting edge. Yeah, you know, it's like it's tough. Like, how often should you? You know, you're not going to redevelop something in 10 years. Yeah. You know, it makes no sense. So eventually, things like in 20 years, you look at Tottenham and be like, okay, they're a little bit behind. Yeah. Because they invested now, you know what I mean? All their stuff's brand new now, so I don't know. But it needs to get redone for sure.
Yeah. No, I think it could be a good thing for the team. I think just, I guess, fresh ideas is a good thing all the time.
Yeah.
And especially if it's done right, so hopefully that'll be, for your sake, it'll be a little bit of a turnaround.
The other good thing is they like Ten Hag, so... like there's no worries there, and
is that a good thing?
We'll see. That is a good thing.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, that is a good thing.
Our next and final order of business, I guess, is the Italian news with Sandro Tonali and a
couple other players,
multiple teammates in the Italian national team getting found. They not even found guilty because they haven't gone to court yet, but they've pretty much admitted that they
Yeah.
were sports gambling. I saw one of the players was like, "Yeah, Tenali showed me the app to use or something like that."
Really.
I'm like, "Bro, you just threw him under the bus."
Yeah, well, I saw Tenali come out and it was like, I saw it was a piece where he was like
Yeah.
crying to his family.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah, and I was like, he better not get off easier.
yeah.
I mean, like,
Then Tony,
I tend to feel bad for people who made mistake. Be like, oh,
yeah,
but like, you know, just because when Tony got accused, I think he came out. It wasn't apologetic. He was like, "This is kind of bullshit." So I hope Tonali doesn't get it easier because he's upset about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think it'll be interesting. I'd like to know what they were betting on. I've already seen videos on Twitter come out of like people are assuming they're betting on yellow cards because that's
I've seen that
thing you
one
can
too.
control.
Yeah.
So there's a video of like Tenali, they're up like 4-1 or something, and he gets booked for time wasting in like the 94th minute. And I don't know. It's just like crazy when you think about how much money these guys make on a weekly basis that they still need to find like the rush somewhere of like betting.
I know, but like, we can't really talk too much, you know.
But I always like, so you think about like other like gamblers. Like I always like think about like Pete Rose in baseball, but like Pete Rose is betting on himself to like do well, and I'm like, I don't know. In my head, it makes it sound less worse that he was like, I'm gonna bet on me getting 3 hits tonight because he's like, all you're trying to do is be better. You know what I mean? Like,
gotta give him props. He's trying to motivate himself. That's all.
Right. Whereas like if you're betting on yourself to get a yellow, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little different because you feel you're not. Yeah, you're not benefiting. Like that's too easy for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like at least try to like get a goal or something. I don't know.
Well, and that's the tough thing. So in soccer, I don't think you can really steer it in any kind of way because like if you bet on yourself to get a goal, that's going to change how you play because you're not gonna pass whatever. But like I don't know, in baseball, if you're just betting to get a hit, like that is your only job when you go up to the.
Yeah, baseball is very much an individual sport for how much it's a team. Like you can do that. Yeah, those kind of bets make sense, and they're not detrimental to your team.
Right, or like I put a bet down to have no errors this game, like under 0.5 errors. Like I don't know, you could find ways to spin it where you're like, oh, that's a positive thing. You know, there's nothing bad.
Although it would suck to like go up to one of your teammates and be like, I got like $500 for you to get 2 hits. Like, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know you can't like legalize it because then people would find like loopholes and stuff. But I always have had like a somewhere inside of me that I'm like, okay, Pete Rose's wasn't as bad as like all these. Other guys.
Yeah. No, that I would probably agree with that. I would probably agree with that.
But yeah, so I mean, stuff's going on, but other than that, it's been fairly slow, which I think is a good thing during international breaks because you don't want to come on here and be like, oh, we've had 6 injuries, like fingers crossed, knock on wood. That hasn't really happened too much yet. I don't think there's been any major ones that at least I know of.
Casemiro got injured.
Nah, doesn't matter. He's probably on a suspension anyways, isn't he?
All his cards. Champions League is.
Yeah. I know like Saka left the camp. He basically just went there to show face, then left again. I don't know. People are getting bent out of shape because there's a video of Nketiah getting his like cap, like his like.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know, he didn't show much emotion or whatever.
Yeah, stone cold.
And people were like, Nketiah's acting hard because he like acting like he doesn't care. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I think he's like low key pissed too that it took him this long to get there.
Yeah, he also just might be not emotional.
Like doesn't care.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like he already made the appearance. Like he's played the game. It was like weeks ago at this point, and now you're just handing him this red hat. I mean, like I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna be happy with his family and stuff. I don't know.
It seems a little bit like, and just an old. I mean, it is a tradition.
Yeah.
But it just seems like something that they do just to keep doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just maybe it doesn't have the same importance it does
to the younger players. And
yeah,
stuff.
to younger players. I mean, it should.
It definitely could.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up.
Yeah,
Maybe he's
I
just
think.
antisocial and doesn't
Yeah.
like talking to people. Like, who
Well, and
fucking
that's the
knows?
thing. I think if we weren't in an international break, no one would even have said anything about it. I think
Yeah.
like news is so slow during these time periods where people
Yeah.
are like
Well, it's
every little
literally
thing,
all it takes is just one idiot just tweeting something, saying something, and then
and
people
then
be
you're
like,
gonna get engagement.
someone might find it and retweet it, and then it's all of a sudden everyone has that opinion, where
Yep.
no one would have even seen that video if
Yeah.
this someone didn't tweet it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very last thing, I just figured I'd mention it because we're ending the show a little short today. Um, the freaking Prime boxing thing. Did you watch that?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
What a waste of time, dude.
Yeah, it sucked. It fucking
Uh,
sucked.
yeah, I mean Dylan Dance is just a prick. I was surprised he actually stayed to fight, but then like after watching him fight, I'm just like, why'd you stay?
Well,
Like,
yeah, it was so bad. The main KSI Fury fight was just as bad. Like it was just not good at all.
yeah, I don't know. I like KSI, so I always have a soft spot for that.
Dude, I don't understand how you still like KSI. I find
I don't know, I
him
think it's funny.
insufferable. I think he might be one of the most annoying human beings on the planet. I
See,
can't stand him.
that vibe, man.
I used to like him when we were younger. I used to like
Yeah.
him, but now I
Uh,
hear him say stuff about like just he's just so cringy, dude. Just
But
saying,
that's like all the act. Like if you, I don't know, he's not. At least when I'm watching it, like YouTube and stuff, he's not like that all the time.
no,
Like
yeah.
he promotes his shit like that because he wants people to not like him.
Mm,
Or he wants people to be like, oh, I want to see this guy get knocked out, so I'm gonna pay for his pay per view.
I
You
don't
know what I mean?
I don't think he's that smart to do that. I understand what you mean because
He's a great marketer.
yeah, I understand he's a great marketer, but that just seems a little bit out there. I think he truly does believe that stuff when he's in that boxing mode. Like it's like you said, I do, if he's just talking on YouTube with, side like I do still like him.
Yeah.
But it's just once he gets in that mode, I'm like, this guy is so insufferable. I
Yeah.
can't take it.
Yeah.
So is Logan, also very fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the like scoring on the whole thing?
On
think,
the,
On the final one, the KSI Fury.
I honestly, I thought it was a draw, but because of the points deduction, I thought
Yeah.
KSI would have won it. However, I thought it was a draw because nothing fucking happened.
No,
They did the same thing. They had
Yeah.
they had the same exact engagement about 40 different fucking times. Like the same exact.
Yeah.
Both throw two punches, lock up. Both throw two punches, lock up. It was just.
I think they were both. So I think they were both like not. They didn't have the stamina for it. I think JJ figured he won, like rounds 1 through 3 or whatever, and from there he was like, I just can't get knocked out. I think that was
Yeah.
like the game plan. It was like, if I just stay close, he's not gonna have enough power to knock me out, and I should be
Yeah,
dead.
but he was doing the same. I think KSI is just so fucking.
He's not a
unorthodox.
boxer by any means. Oh
Yes,
no chance. And when he started jumping around waving his arms, I was like, he's
Dude,
gonna get knocked
yeah.
out. I got like, I'm like, he's gonna get exposed here. And then
It's-
Tommy just didn't do anything.
It didn't do it, and it's so frustrating because I watched the Jake Tommy fight, and I've watched Tommy fights, and all of his fights I've seen, I've been like, wow, he's not good. He's not good at
Yeah.
all. And then I watched the Jake Tommy fight, and I was like, holy shit, he's actually like a really good boxer. I just didn't,
Yeah.
maybe I just didn't see
Yeah.
him in the right light, and I was like really impressed by him. And then I watched this fight, and I'm like, he fucking sucks again. Like it's like.
I mean,
It's just-
he never came close to landing anything like that was super clean or anything like that.
He tried, and you know what? I don't like the point getting taken away.
He was hitting him in the back of the head pretty.
He was.
repeatedly.
He
I
absolutely
think
was.
eventually,
but
I don't know if it would have gotten taken away.
that
I think
happens-
eventually it would have happened again.
That happens at so many times. That happens every fight in the same way. Case has done that to so many people, but
Yeah.
as soon as someone complains, then they're like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
should probably start looking at it." And then they take like, if he didn't complain, not a single point.
Yeah.
Now I'm not blaming KSI for that because like,
Yeah.
fucking take the if it's happening,
Yeah.
take the point, right?
Yeah.
But it's like that happens all the time, and someone won't say something, and then
Yeah.
never. It just, you
Yeah.
know, that's the problem with boxing scoring is it's so like
Yes, depending
easily.
on the judges.
Yeah, you can customize it in your head so
Yep.
easily too. You know, someone
Yep.
could look at that fight and go, 6 rounds KSI. The other person could say 5 rounds Tommy Fury,
Yeah.
and they would have
Yeah.
points. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just
Well, and that's I guess not frustrating, but that's what they like on Twitter especially. You see it, but, like Adesanya watched the fight or whatever. Did you see that video of him?
no.
It was like him at his home, and he was watching the fight, and at the end he was like, "Yeah, KSI won that or whatever." And the scoring came out. He's like, "This is why I fight MMA."
Yeah,
Or,
no.
This is why I fight UFC. He's like,
It is
he's
because
like,
there's so many
yeah,
more
he's-
ways to get points, and it makes more sense.
well,
it's just-
he's like, I'm not gonna let a judge tell me how good I fought. I'm gonna let the stats tell me.
Yeah,
Like, and that's basically what it came like. What he said. He's like, there's too many opinions. I think is what he said.
like I said, my reaction when the fight ended was like, "Oh wow, KSI actually won that." Don't think it was a
Yeah.
good fight. I don't think
No.
either of them should be proud of it.
No,
But-
I think JJ's whole thing was don't get knocked out, and if I win or draw, it's a win for me because Tommy's supposed to be this boxer. I think
Yeah.
even with losing by 1 point, I think JJ proved Tommy's not that much better than these guys that
Yeah.
have taken up boxing.
I
the last
think
3
I think
years.
Jake did the same thing, even though Tommy looked
exactly.
much better. But the one thing I'm happy about is now Jake and KSI will finally fight.
I don't
they
think
both-
they're gonna fight.
Dude, I think they would have fought even if KSI won, but now that they both lost to to Tommy,
Yeah.
it's gotta happen. It has to happen.
See, as much as I like JJ, I do think he has an out here where he could just be like, dude, I hate the scoring system that ruined me. Like that kind of thing, and just be like, I'm never boxing again. And just take that route out.
Yeah, I
Because
thought
I think he's just, not that he's not bored of it. I think he's all the training, like all the camps and everything, I think it's taken its toll on him. Because like this fight, more than any other one, he's talked about, I can't wait till it's over. Like, he's like, it's just a lot.
fair. If they both take a year and then come back and do it, I'll be just as happy.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. All right, let's wrap this thing up. We got 30 minutes on it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Check us out on Twitter at the Away Fans Podcast. I'm sure we'll be tweeting out some stuff going into match week 9. Is that what we're going into?
Yes.
9. We'll have our preview show coming out probably Thursday or Friday morning. And we will talk about that then. We got some bets coming up. Good stuff. Back into it.
Oh
Got
yeah.
to make some money again.
I need to. I'm
Yeah.
losing money a lot.
Losing money, losing
Losing
I guess,
games.
distance. Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm halfway to a jersey already. My foot's halfway through the door.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten my jersey yet. I'm gonna have to buy you one.
Beautiful. You can't just say I haven't got my jersey. I gave him the money for the jersey.
Yeah. it's
Let
just-
that be known. I've done what I need to do, but it's on his end. But thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you again on Thursday, and